What's going on, y'all? 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 It's David David. Oh, man. What's going on, y'all? It's David David with my first video covering the new mobile gacha game that I've been playing a ton, Kingdom of Heroes Tactics War. Since the global release is relatively new, I've had a lot of people asking me what 5-star they should choose for the selector that you get in the beginning, so I decided to make a video covering the better ones in depth. So first things first, before you actually pick your Nat 5, please make sure to do all of your summoning first before you pick. So if you're buying starter packs or using scrolls that you get early on, please make sure to use them first, because I would absolutely hate for you to pick a Nat 5 and then end up summoning a dupe when you could have had like 2 different units. Kicking off the list, a man that needs no introduction, I have the legendary nature unit, Ingway. You can see on my new Asia server account that my Nat 5 picker shows me that over 50% of people have picked him, and I even chose him myself on my global account, and there is a good reason for that. Ingway basically solos the entire game for you. On day 2 of my first account with him, I had him awakened 6-star, like level 50 or 40 or something, with really bad vampire runes, and I was soloing Fafnir 11 dungeon with a 100% success rate. He transfers debuffs, provokes enemies, blocks healing, sustains himself, and even counters melee attacks. Basically everything and more that you can ask for from a nature tank. If you summoned him before your picker, fantastic. But if you didn't, then I would 100% recommend you pick him, because you don't want to gimp yourself out of easy content. I would pick Ingway every single time if I were to start a new account. The next unit that I want to recommend is Esperanza. She is one of the best, if not the best, water DPS unit in the game currently. She provides an important mobility buff to allies that make PvP and speed clears a lot more efficient, and has a great turn cycling move that will provide her with bonus attack damage if the unit is left alive. I went and looked up what people are running for the Rune dungeons on the Asia server that's been out way before Global has been, and just about every single speed team had an Esperanza on it, and I can almost guarantee you that they are using her in all areas of the game as well, such as like PvP and raids. Here are the top 5 units used on those servers that are being used for Fafnir floor 11 and Armory floor 11. You can see Ingway is the top front runner for Fafnir, but directly under him in Fafnir and on top of the Armory list is Esperanza. While we are looking at this list, I also want to show you the 6 through 10 spots on each, because the next unit that I recommend is Ifrit. Ifrit is the 7th best unit for Fafnir floor 11, but she is only second to Esperanza on the Armory list. As you can see from the speed teams that I showed earlier, her and Esperanza pretty much go hand in hand for the best pair of DPS units for Rune Dungeon farming. Ifrit brings a lot to the table besides just damage. She actually has an important AoE speed reduction debuff, as well as an AoE defense break that can actually have 0 cooldown if you crit 3 enemies with it. Aside from being a terrific unit for Rune Dungeons, Ifrit is also a great farmer, with her passive allowing her to gain attack bar quickly so she can nuke units really fast with her 2 AoE abilities. Perfect for leveling fodder. And while we're here talking about leveling fodder quickly, I have Ifrit as my 4th recommendation. Ifrit, in my eyes, is the best Nat 5 that you can pick for fast early game XP farming. Take her to stage 1-1 on hard or conqueror and she will go nuts. Ifrit has multiple AoE abilities that do huge damage. One does continuous damage in front of her, and the other one does continuous damage, reduces attack, and always has elemental advantage in all adjacent spaces. She even has a single target nuke that resets its cooldown if she kills something with it, and believe me, she will. If that all isn't enough to convince you that she is a great farmer, her Awaken passive will give her an attack buff and eventually a critical hit rate buff after a certain amount of turns, making her grow stronger over time. Ifrit isn't a game-changing unit for rune farming like Ingway, Esperanza, and Ifrit, but she does make your life a ton easier when it comes to leveling up fodder to pump out a bunch of 6-star units. Although I would only get her if you already have at least an Ingway in either Esperanza or Ifrit. Rounding out the list, last but not least, I have our only priest, Vivian. I would really only choose Vivian if 1, I already had a Nat 5 DPS unit on this list and Ingway, and 2, if I had no other viable priest to use, such as Amon, Rhea, or Penelope. And that is only because the other units on this list are going to do so much more for you than Vivian is. That's not because I think she is bad in any regard. She's actually incredibly good, which is why she's on this list. I would actually go as far as saying that Vivian is the best non-LD healer in the game, and even compared to the LD units, she is definitely up there as one of the best. Vivian's basic skill is AoE and has a chance to inflict glancing upon 3 enemies at a time. Her skill 2 gives all surrounding allies debuff immunity and increased defense. Her skill 3 is a burst heal that has a chance to go on a 1-turn cooldown, and if that isn't enough, her passive removes a debuff from an ally every single turn and gives them a continuous recovery healing buff. So not only does she have fantastic healing properties, she also cleanses and even inflicts glancing upon enemies. No other unit in the game has a kit this loaded for healing and anti-debuffs. And that, my friends, is going to be it for the best Nat 5s to pick for your early game Nat 5 picker. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions or if there's anything that you would like to see me do a video on for Kingdom of Heroes. If this video has helped even a little bit, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button because it helps this channel out a ton. And if you want to see more Kingdom of Heroes content, then let me know and hit that subscribe button and notification bell to stay up to date. Thanks for watching till the end, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya!
I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.